After WhatsApp, now Twitter today has said it's concerned over the potential threat to freedom of expression with the new digital media rules. The government in its response has said social media sites should stop beating around the bush and comply with the law of the land instead of dictating terms to the world's largest democracy. Google Sundar Pichai has said that Google will comply, but an open internet is foundational.
There is now a full-blown war of words between the IT ministry and social media giants Facebook's WhatsApp and today Twitter. After telling WhatsApp not to be foolhardy, it's now told Twitter to stop beating around the bush and comply with the new IT rule. Twitter has hit out at what it calls intimidation tactics by the police. 3 days ago, the police raided its offices shortly after the government objected to Twitter labeling this tweet by the BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra as manipulated. Separately, the government is also putting pressure on social media platforms to comply with its controversial rules which give officials a lot of power over how these firms handle content. In a strongly worded statement, Twitter today said to keep our service available, we will strive to comply with applicable law in India, but we will continue to be strictly guided by principles of transparency and protecting freedom of expression and privacy under the rule of law. And referring to the new rules, Twitter says, we plan to advocate for changes to elements of these regulations that inhibit free, open public conversation. In response, the IT ministry says Twitter seeks to undermine India's legal system. The only instance of scuttling free speech on Twitter is Twitter itself. People's accounts are suspended and tweets deleted arbitrarily without recourse. Twitter is just a social media platform. It has no locus in dictating India's legal policy framework. The Delhi police too hit back at Twitter. They said, prima facie, statements are mendacious and designed to impede a lawful inquiry. Twitter investigated, arrived at a conclusion. It must share that information with the police. Facebook and Google had already said that they aim to comply with most of the guidelines. However, Sundar Pichai, Google's chief, spoke about what he called information regulation in India, underscoring that we always respect local laws in every country we operate in. A free and open internet is foundational. We are very clear about the values of a free and open internet. Facebook-owned WhatsApp has already gone to the court against the new rules. Government also wishes to emphatically assure that representatives of social media companies, including Twitter, are and will always remain safe in India and there is no threat to their personal safety and security. However, the government also said that it emphatically assures social media companies, including Twitter, that their representatives will always remain safe in India and there is no threat to their personal safety and security. Though the IT guidelines do have a compliance officer clause who is legally liable for the platform. With Akhilesh Sharma, Rubina Mongia for NDTV.